So the shir today, we will continue talking about Tchias HaMesim. We started last week talking about Tchias HaMesim. We'll continue on the same subject. And Mitzvah Shem in the coming weeks we'll continue weiter talking about the subject of Tchias HaMesim as it relates to different inyanim. Today we're going to talk about Tchias HaMesim as it relates to Koyanim Gedalim. A Koyan Gadol that will stand up by Tchias HaMesim. A Kohen Gadol that gets up at Tchias HaMesim, what is going to be his status? Is he going to continue serving as a Kohen Gadol? Is he not going to continue serving as a Kohen Gadol?
How many options do we have?
Three options. Maybe he's going to continue being a Kohen Gadol. Huh?
There's only one Kohen
So, L'asad Lavai, all the Koyanim Gedalim of all the generations are going to get up for Tchias HaMesim. Shazai? Thousands of Koyanim Gedalim. So what's going to happen with all these thousands of Koyanim Gedalim? Aaron HaKoyen.
That's it.
Only one. Yeah, especially a lot of them died while they were because they weren't dry.
I'm talking about the ones that were Roy. The ones that were Roy.
Even those who were not Roy, they had such Mesilas Nefesh.
Correct.
They knew they're going to die. They wanted to serve in the
Al derech nadav avihu.
Right.
But what's going to happen? So what's the status going to be? Is Koyanim Gedalim? Kohen Hedyet?
No, it's going
Was
to
ik
be
ben
like
een losse baan naar koning gelebt. Toen kon ik ben naar zoon van een koning wel.
Is L'asad Lavai, wel alle tzirik.
like a Kohen Mamuna, no? Story. Temporary. All of them were temporary. When Aaron comes, he takes back.
No, we learned that only benegayet to L'asad Lavai, the kind of going to have the neshama of Levim, but someone that was a kohen from before, from Tchias HaMesim, is going to be weiter a kohen. That's what we learned.
That's right.
If you remember. Will weiter be kohenim. Okay, so there's a Gemara in Yuma. I think it's in Daf Yud Beis, where the Gemara talks about two kohenim gedalim. Can you have two kohenim gedalim to be mishamish in the Beis Hamikdash together? So the Gemara talks about the following case. You're kohen. What happens if a kohen became a apostle? There was a psul in the kohen and he couldn't serve in the Beis Hamikdash. A kohen gadol, yeah. So you have to have another kohen gadol. So they went and they appointed another kohen gadol, and then the first kohen gadol became roy to serve again as a kohen gadol. So what happens now with the second kohen gadol that they appointed? So now you have two kohenim gedalim. There's a machlekes in the Gemara, Rabbi Yosi. We pass like Rabbi Yosi. The Rambam passes like Rabbi Yosi. Rabbi Yosi says azay that the first kohen gadol becomes back kohen gadol. He had a temporary psul, and now he became roy again, so he becomes back a kohen gadol. The second one, he can't serve in the Beis Hamikdash not as a kohen gadol and not as a kohen hedyet. Neither. Can't do anything. Why? So the Gemara says he can't serve as a kohen gadol mishum eva, because there shouldn't be any jealousy between the two kohenim gedalim. So only one kohen gadol. He can't serve as a kohen hedyet because mailam b'kodesh ve'emeridin. Once he served as a kohen gadol for even one day, so he can't go back down to serve as a kohen hedyet. That what?
It was one Shabbos, two Shabbos.
Right. Okay. So this is a Gemara Mufareshes and Azay Paskitman. So l'chayre L'asad Lavai Tchias HaMesim, all these kohen gedalim are going to stand up for Tchias HaMesim. So there's going to be only one kohen gadol. It's going to be Aaron, like you said. Aaron HaKohen, he's going to be the kohen gadol. So what's going to be with everybody else? They're going to be stuck. They can't serve not as a kohen gadol, mishum eva, and not as a kohen hedyet because eimerid. They can't go down. There's no more eva Mashiach Satan. Huh?
There's no more Eva. What kind of Eva going to be Mashiach Satan?
Still, and
What? No Kino, no Tisino. Rambam schreibt es all about. There is no nothing.
It doesn't say that over here. Over here it says the reason is eva, but over here it says the reason is eva. Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, just you have mishmaris when you get to kind headed. You can make mishmaris when you get to kind gadol. Okay, we'll get back to that. It's a very good point you're making. L'chayr L'asad Lavai, won't be any eva. Okay, we'll get back to that.
the other opinion.
Rab Meir. Rab Meir is the other opinion. I don't remember now Rab Meir. I think Rab Meir says that the second kohen gadol. I remember. I have to look inside the Gemara Yuma Daf Yud Beis. We don't pass like Rab Meir, but I think jetzt. Okay, but the Maisa Zazay, there are two different kinds of Kohanim Gedolim. There's a Kohen Gadol the way it was in the time of the first Beis HaMikdash, or even before in this man of Moshe Rabbeinu, and there's a Kohen Gadol the way it was later in the second Beis HaMikdash, which is different. What's the difference? Kohen Gadol in the first Beis HaMikdash was a Kohen that they were Mosheach b'Shemen HaMishcha. That's
18
right. That they were Nimshach b'Shemen HaMishcha. After that, it stopped, and then the only difference in a Kohen Gadol and a Kohen Hadiyat was beneged to the begodim. The Gemara calls him is a merubah begodim, that he wears the extra 4 begodim, the 8 begodim of a Kohen Gadol, but there's no Meshicha b'Shemen HaMishcha. What's the nafkamina? The nafkamina between the Kohen Gadol that's Nimshach b'Shemen HaMishcha and a Kohen Gadol that's merubah begodim is a big nafkamina, because Meshicha is something which is nitzchizdik. There's a sicha from the Rebbe Ba'arichas about this, that the Meshicha, when you Moshech a Kohen Gadol, that Meshicha is something that's Mosheach the Kohen Gadol, that he should be a Kohen Gadol or Olam Vad. Has a nitzchizdik koyach. That's a koyach of Meshicha. And the Rogatchover says there's a lot of Makaitis for this, that Meshicha makes this person into a Kohen Gadol forever. And it's also
The same problem with Melachim.
that
Who's going to be Melach?
Lost Lavoi.
Yeah.
Okay.
All Meshicha.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go to Shaila. Maybe we could talk about that next week. What's going to be together with Melech HaMashiach, which L'chayr is going to be the Melech Lasad Lavi. What's going to be with the other Malachim? Where is their position going to be? Okay, I go to Shaila. Huh? Keser, Palgi Keser. Yeah, so that's been again to Meshicha, and it's Mefurish in Teiris Kayanim in Vayikra. It says that the Meshicha is something that lasts forever and it doesn't change. So those Kayanim, the 18 Kayanim that were Nimshach b'Shemen HaMishcha, so La'asad Lavai, when they stand up at Chiyas HaMeisim, so they fight to have the status really of a Kohen Gadol. But they can't bepoil all serve together as Kohanim Gedolim, as I mentioned before, because the Gemara says Mishum Eva. You can't have everybody serving together. On the other hand, they can't serve as a Kohen Hadiyat, because you can't be mighted them from their Kedusha. So they're going to be stuck.
Is there a difference between the Meshicha of Aaron and the Meshicha of his children?
The Meshicha of Aaron and his children?
Yeah, was there any...
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly the din that we're talking about. This is the din of Kohen Sha'avar. And then you have another category, as I mentioned, the Kohanim, which are only Merubah Begodim. Merubah Begodim, so they'd never had Mashiach. So the Minui, the fact that they were appointed as Kohanim, is by the fact that they put on the extra Begodim. So there's definitely a svara to say that this Kohuna Gedoyla that's chal upon them, there's nothing there that's holding it that it should remain forever. It's not a Minui forever. So when they pass away...
There's a pasuk in the Torah that's Merab, Enli Elo Kohen Moshiach, Merubah Begodim Minayin.
But not going to get to this prat though, not going to get to the olam that the Meshicha and the Minui remains forever. So when they pass away and they can't serve anymore as a Kohen Gadol when you're not alive, so that status that they had as a Kohen Gadol gets bottled, gets removed. So when they stand up by Tchiyas HaMeisim, so they don't have the status anymore as a Kohen Gadol. They don't have any more the status as a Kohen Gadol b'chlal. So if they don't have the status as a Kohen Gadol, so they're not going to be Kohanim Gedolim. All these Kohanim Gedolim that are only Merubah Begodim are not going to have the status as a Kohen Gadol, and they can serve as a Kohen Hadiyat. They can serve as a Kohen Hadiyat in the Beis HaMikdash, no different than anybody else. Aye, l'chayre, there's a svara, what?
I can't see a Bishmal Kohen Gadol and Shimon HaTzadik serving as a regular Kohen.
When Aaron HaKohen is alive. So the Gabi has Aaron HaKohen is the Kohen Gadol, and they're going to be... well, they weren't Nimshach b'Shemen HaMishcha, no, they were much later.
No, they were second.
Mm-hmm. So, Achayras, they come twice. The Gemara says that Mailam HaKodesh V'Meiriten. So if they are individuals that in the past they served as Kohen Gedolim, how are they now going to serve as a Kohen Hadiyat? Tchiyas HaMeisim is the same person that's standing up at Tchiyas HaMeisim. It's not a new person. So he served once as a Kohen Gadol. How could he go down? So Taisvis in Yuma says that the Gemara says Mailam HaKodesh V'Meiriten B'nigeh to this Inyan that a Kohen Gadol cannot serve as a Kohen Hadiyat means that the Melech or the Bezdin cannot be moirid him, cannot take away his Kuna Gedola to turn him into a moiridin. We can't be moirid him into a lower status that he should serve as a Kohen Hedyot. What's if it happened automatically? No one was moirid him. He passed away. And the status that he had as a Kohen Gadol was automatically removed, automatically stopped. So then when he stands up by Tchias HaMesim, he's still a Kohen, he's Meyuchas from Shevet Levi, and he's a Kohen. That never went away. So there's no reason why he shouldn't continue serving, at least as a Kohen Hedyot, even though it's a lower status that he had before. But nobody was moited him. It happened automatically. So therefore there's definitely a svara to say that there's a big nafkamira between the Kohenim Gedolim that are Meshuach B'Shem and HaMishcha. They will not be able to say. It's interesting. Those that are Meshuach B'Shem and HaMishcha, the Asad Lavi won't be able to serve in the Beis HaMikdash B'chlal. Not as a Kohen Gadol and not as a Kohen Hedi, like they didn't have a Kohen She'ovar. Mashenkin, those that are Meshuach B'Merubim B'Godim, but not B'Shem and HaMishcha, so when they stand up for Tchias HaMesim, they're just a regular Kohenim, like everybody else, so they'll serve as a Kohen Hediyot. Some modern outcome from this. Okay, this is all one shitta. But then, about this case, about this Kohen. No. He's talking about the Kohen Sha'ovar. Taisus is talking about the Kohen Sha'ovar because the Gemara says that a Kohen Sha'ovar can't serve as a Kohen Hedyot because Mailam B'Kodesh Ve'im Meiriden. So Taisus asks in the Gemara, why does the Gemara have to give the reason Mailam B'Kodesh Ve'im Meiriden? And the Gemara should say simpler. He was already appointed as a Kohen Gadol. Once he was appointed as a Kohen Gadol, you're not allowed to serve with less than the 8 begodim, then he's mechusar begodim. He's already a Kohen Gadol. He can't serve as a Kohen Hedyot. So why does the Gemara have to give the reason of Mailam HaKodesh V'Meridin? He's appointed as a Kohen Gadol. How can he serve with less? So Taisus says, no, serving as a Kohen Hedyot wouldn't be an issue because just like you were mamana him as a Kohen Gadol, you could be meirid in Megudulasai. The Bezdin could remove it and make him back into a Kohen Hedyot, Mekanistan. That's because we're talking about a Kohen that wasn't anointed b'Shem and HaMishcha. Therefore, Taisus says, Elamai, the pshat in the Gemara is that we do not have the right to be meirid him. That's what it means. We do not have the right to be meirid him from the status that he was elevated to, because Mailam HaKodesh Ve'em Meridin. So you see from Taisus that this Inyan of Mailam HaKodesh Ve'em Meridin is only if we are taking away and lowering down his status. But if it happens automatically because he passed away and then there was Tchias HaMesim, it will serve as a Kohen Hedyot. There's another shitta, the Ramban. The Ramban on the Sefer HaMitzvos of the Rambam says, interesting thing, even though it's different than what it says Beferish in the Teiris Kayanim, the Ramban says that all the Meshiches, even those 18 Kainim that were anointed B'Shem and HaMishcha, La'asad Lavai, the Meshicha of all the Kainim are going to be bottled. The Lashon of the Ramban is, it's a long Lashon, so I wrote down here a small chelik, one line of the Ramban. The Ramban says, V'yiyu anoshim mechudashim, they're going to be like new people, v'yitztarchu lehiskadish kevarishayna. They're going to have to be sanctified or anointed again like in the beginning. It could be totally new. So if they're going to be totally new, so, according to him, it's clear that a Kohen Gadol, when he passes away, he loses his status as a Kohen Gadol, including those that were Nimshach V'Shem and HaMishcha. So then it's Pashut, according to him, there's no chilik between Merov. Yeah, clear. V'yanoshim u'chudoshim v'yitztarchel eskadosh kevarishayna. Kibarishayna, like they had in the first time. So he's talking about those that were already once Nimshach, but that Meshicha is Nizbatel when they pass away. So
what's going to happen when Mashiach comes? What process is now? Now you're talking about Anun Akudah.
When Mashiach is going to come, we're going to have to appoint again a Kohen Gadol.
That includes Aaron HaKohen.
And if we're probably going to choose Aaron, it's going to be Aaron HaKohen.
No, that includes Aaron HaKohen.
Correct, that Aaron HaKohen.
Like everybody else.
No, he's probably not going to have to say how Aaron HaKohen. We're going to be the Mashiach is going to be an Aaron HaKohen, and everybody else will just be plain Kohenim. But Aaron HaKohen is not going to be a Kohen Gadol because he was once Nimshach B'Shem and HaMishcha before. He's going to have a new Mashiach again to become a Kohen Gadol again, the Asad David.
Who said we're going to choose him? Who said? What's the
Steht doch,
who are you going to choose?
Moshe v'Aaron Imoim, this says L'Shainis, no, that Asad David. Huh? Maybe him, he's a Kohen.
Yeah.
Never
Why
know.
is it so much pressure? People sit and learning, the next discussion is the ganze Tag. What do you want to show him something? Soll reden, lernen?
It's a Geschmack, aber
Ja,
Chaya.
aber so viel, das will noch kommen, bei ihm ist wohl, oh, klar. Und so ein Kasche, fragt der Kasche, wo sein Lubavscher Rabbein, sein Ehre, ein Tike Rebbe, und steht da zu erzählen, wenn mich schichert zu allem, was ist eigentlich? Steht da zu erzählen, gesagt, ich bin Mescher der Maras, mit dem, was der alte Rebbe, Mescher in der Mitte, so alle wird mich schichert, aber was ist eigentlich?
weißt du? Teure, וללמוד הניצחון. חביבי, ככה זה.
אל תשאל, תן להם ללמוד קצת.
צריך להבין, כולנו לומדים.
אבל אין לך.
אל תראה עליי.
אני לא יודע.
ביישת אותי.
Tamo, Mari, ich hätte schon mit Dukzat. Ich habe fragen, Katja, so eine Suche, da fragen wir ein bisschen.
Belernt.
Was ist eine Arcade bis in Nimschel geworden
Mhm.
und wird Tommy Thomas Mess.
Doesn't take away his
Doesn't take away?
Shicha.
Tume?
That's, why would that take away anything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because now that he was nifter, so he was into Thomas Mess.
He's Tamit himself.
Yeah, he's coming himself. He came to Thomas Mess. So it's ice kind of as well, anyways.
Is
steht
er
op
ook
zijn-
de meeste die paraduma?
All the whether the mason you have to have a zoh paraduma.
Oh,
Okay, there's an interesting Avnei Nezer on this point that I just mentioned. Yeah, the Sachat Shavar, correct. The Avnei Nezer says that La'asad Lavai, the reason why you're going to need a Mashiach again for the Kohen Gadol, he says a bit different than what the Ramban says. The Lashon of the Ramban says, I mentioned before, Yiyu Anoshim Mechudashim, that the Kohen and Gadol and La'asad Lavai are going to be like it's brand new people. Tchias HaBeisim is the same guf and the same neshama. Ramban doesn't mean new guf, a different guf. He means new in the sense that the Mashiach that happened before got expired. When you pass away, it leaves. That's what he means by Nashim Chodashim. Then now you get up, it doesn't resurrect your Mashiach from before. That Mashiach was removed and that never gets resurrected. That's what he means by Nashim Chodashim. But the Avnei Nezer says different. Avnei Nezer says that based on what the Alter is Mitzayin there, so true in the Avnei Nezer is Mitzayin based on what Harav Miliadi, the Alter Rebbe. This is what the Alter Rebbe writes.
You love the Alter Rebbe.
Yeah, quotes him all the time. This is the Alter Rebbe writes in Teira Eir. The Alter Rebbe is masber the difference between the Aved and the Beis Hamikdash and the first and second Beis Hamikdash, and the Aved and the Beis Hamikdash and the third Beis Hamikdash. And in the third Beis Hamikdash is going to be a different sug Aveda. In the first and second Beis Hamikdash are given birurim. The world is not mavur yet. So the Milas and the Welt, the Karbonis, Lasad Love, it's going to be a higher sug Aveda. It's not birurim. It's going to be a higher sug Aveda. So because it's going to be a different sug Aveda, you're going to have a new Mashiach to be roy to do this Aveda. So what he's saying is not that the Mashiach of the past is going to become bottled. Doesn't become bottled. The Mashiach continues, but you still need a new Mashiach because it's a different kind of Aveda. There's a Mashiach for a lower dark of Aveda. There's a Mashiach for a higher dark of Aveda. Anai Vart, Shmak Vart. What's the Aveda? In Kedusha Gufa, going higher and higher.
So there can be no more behemoths go on?
The behemoths are going to be all nizbarer. Mitzruach atuma avim in haaretz means even when you get to behemoths, that lasat lavi could be als only tare. And in kedusha gufa wird sein the aveda in the Beis Hamikdash hecher and hecher. So it's a different kind of aveda. So you need a new Mashiach. Das ist der Avnei Nezer's Wort. Lasat lavi. In the first kufa for sure there's going to be, maybe later it's going to be mitzvahs b'teilis or whatever, but in the first kufa the shleimus of Torah and mitzvahs is going to come back. Dafke Lasad Lavi when there's a mikdash in the first kufa for sure. Yeah, now let's go to the union of Eva that Rabbi Rieber had gefragt sehr as diese bombelige kasche hat gefragt für Eva. So he asked that l'chayre Lasad Lavi in the shaykh the union von Eva. Net doch wegen Eva. In the shaykh Lasad Lavi in the shaykh the union von Eva. So this whole time is not shaykh. So which means then that you could have maybe thousands of Kainim Gedalim at the same time. I mean, if you combine all the I don't know if thousands, but if you combine all the generations, there could be many Kainim Gedalim.
340.
What's the number?
318, 319.
Depends. In the first Beis Hamikdash is 18, and the second Beis Hamikdash was 80.
No,
So-
300.
80, 80. No, who told you that?
Because every year there was another one.
300.
In
Yeah.
the second Beis Hamikdash.
Even
The
I-
Rambam writes 80.
It comes out that they were more often than once a year.
Because you have to realize, Shimon HaTzadik and Rabbi Shmuel together were 120. There was another Kohen Gadol who was also 4 years.
Yochanan is another 80
Yochanan is another
Right,
80. So
80.
you
Shimon
have
Shimon,
right
right.
there. You have right there.
With that, because the Kohanim would outbid each other within the year, and therefore they would last less than a year.
כל שנה מתו.
כל שנה מתו, אבל יש לך פה 200 שנים, 4 כהנים.
היה 400 שנים בביס המקדוש. אז מוריד
For
להם
20 years.
לא, אתה מוריד 200 שנים.
למה?
לא,
היה
4 כהנים
80,
80, 80 ועוד 40.
אז 200.
Akol panim. So the Asid Lavai, if there's no Inyan of Eva, L'chaira, it's Shaykh to have more than one Kohen Gadol.
Doing what? I mean,
Huh?
doing what?
Rotation. They don't want to.
Dus er aan gedenkt, je bent er aan een andere.
They won't have to work so hard, yeah? Or maybe in the Zelmi Yom Kippur, one Kohen Gadol does one chelik of the Aveda and the other. I don't know if you could say that. Yeah. One Kohen Gadol, yeah.
Well, at least a lot of people will be able to serve during the week with
Or yeah. Days and the weeks, whatever, however it'll be divided. So it's definitely a svara to say that Lasad Lavai, there'll be more than one Kohen Gadol. But the Maisa is this Inyan that that you're not allowed to have more than one Kohen Gadol. In the Gemara, it's the reason Mishum Eva, which is mashma that it's a Eva, and Rashi and Tosfos say beferish that it's a Gzeira mit Rabbanon, which means that be'emes you could have more than one Kohen Gadol, but it's a takana mit Rabbanon that there shouldn't be Eva. But there's a beferish Teres Kayanim that says B'yoyim himashach oisai lashon yachid, that you could only be Mashiach one Kohen Gadol, and not more than you can't have two Kohenim Gedolim. So the fact that you can't have two Kohenim Gedolim is nothing to do. Garnish it with Eva. It's midayraisa that you can't have more than one Kohen Gadol. No, so what's the pshat? But how could Rashi and Tosfos say that it's midrabanon if there's a beferish Teres Kayanim that says you can only have one Kohen Gadol?
Or that first Kohanim, what do you do when there's a Kohen Sha'avar?
If there's a Kohen Sha'avar, no, so what's the problem?
We already spoke about it.
So only one Kohen Gadol. Not Mishum. You don't need the reason Mishum Eva. Without the reason Mishum Eva, only one Kohen Gadol. So there's a teretz that some say that it depends. Depends what happened. If you have one Kohen Gadol that's currently serving in the Beis HaMikdash, and he's no psul, he's currently serving in the Beis HaMikdash. On that, there's a Issa min HaTorah, or you can't min HaTorah appoint a second one together with him. What happens if there was a psul on one Kohen Gadol and he wasn't currently serving the Beis HaMikdash, and therefore you went and appointed a second one? In such a case, because when you appointed the second one, the first one wasn't serving, then if the first one's psul, that is, went off, they would be able to serve together, because the mishicha of both of them wasn't when they were both roi to serve together. So there's a chiluk, it depends. All these Kohanim Gedolim that were Nismana in each generation, you were never Memana two together. One person, then he passes away, you Memana the next. You were never Mashiach them together. They were different generations. So because you were Mashiach them in different generations, the Issa min HaTorah that you can't be Mashiach two together doesn't apply. That Issa min HaTorah only applies when you did two together. But because they were in different generations, that doesn't apply. The only thing that applies is that there's Eva, when they get up by Tchiyas HaMesim, there could be Eva that they're serving together. But La'asad Lavi, there will be no Eva. So you could have more than one Kohen Gadol, La'asad Lavi. There could be all the hundreds of Kohanim Gedolim could serve together, La'asad Lavi, because there's no Eva.